this is more than I bargained for. A lot more. Warm milk. It's supposed to help you sleep. You're not intending to do anything shocking, are you?
I thought I'd be afraid when we first met, but she assured me that it'd be okay. And you know what? She was right. You know, I thought I'd hate having her here. And now for the first time in months, I feel hopeful. I can't believe it.
You can go upstairs and get dressed, Mr. Overton. We'll call you when we're ready.
Well, go on, Michael. Michael.
Maybe you'd prefer a sponge bath.
Is this an emergency? Is your wife with you?
No. I just came from...
Then perhaps I can schedule an appointment for you.
No, look. It is an emergency. I really need to talk to him.
Please have a seat.
What are you looking at?
You don't like her, is that it?
No, it's not that I don't like her.
Has there been some kind of problem?
Her methods seem unorthodox.
How so?
Well, she's very authoritarian, for one thing. She's virtually bossing me around in my own house.
Yes.
Strange seeing yourself like that. I thought I handled it rather well, though, don't you? I mean, if I knew then what I know now, I might have altered my approach somewhat, but given the circumstances, I think my responses to Michael's concerns were, well, appropriate, to say the least.
I don't know about you, but I think this situation isn't good. Not good at all.
Michael. Oh, Michael.
Well, you look so excited. What's going on?
It's Jody.
What about Jody?
She's sitting up. She's sitting up in bed.
Really?
Yes. Catherine got her to do it. We were just talking about how she needed to try harder, and Catherine said she should be sitting up in bed. And she went right upstairs and got her to do it. Just like that.
Your hair looks great. What'd you do to it?
Well, Catherine did it.
It just pisses me off that I have to go out and get all this stuff. Soy milk, for Christ's sake.
Michael, what's wrong with you?
She's good. She's very good.
I have dabbled in bizarre sexual acts.
Hello, welcome to Tender Loving Care, and this is on the heels of quite an intense and revealing episode. We learned that Jody is dead, just like I thought, and but Allison's doing really well. She's perked up a lot since Allison came, and what's his face? Michael went to Dr. Turner's office and was complaining about Allison. No, Catherine. I get them confused. Alright, let's see what he says about me. Probably comfortable around vulgar people. Yeah. Does not behave violently when under the influence of alcohol. Patient, wants to be a tolerant person. I think I already read all this. Yep. Okay. Let's just get to it. Okay. Erotic art. Oh, we've seen some of these pictures before. There's the titty tweaking picture. And then, I don't know what's going on in here. But, that's exciting, I guess. Hold on. Oh, that's some titty tweaking. Indeed. Also, for the first time, it's like, the sort of, the start screen music is playing in the game. Oh, yeah, okay, we're talking about voyeurism again. The second loyal voyeurism is the artist himself. He watches from the length of a paintbrush as bodies take shape, unveiled and uninhibited. With a few short, colorful strokes, he unlocks doors, uncovers beds, dresses or undresses people around him, putting them in positions they might never imagine themselves. Such is the case with Gabrielle d'Estrées and the Duchess de Villars. I did not say that the right way. In this portrait, two noble women are captured bathing together, looking stately and jeweled and regal, even in their nudity, even as one delicately tweaks the nipple of the other. It is a vision, beautiful, absurd, that the artist has seen within himself. It is his window into himself. He gazes at the two women with emotions we can only guess. The woman doing needlework in the background doesn't look up. The two ladies in the foreground look their voyeuristic creator in the eye. Yeah, that lady doesn't seem bothered by all this. She's like, I don't know what the hell you two broads are doing. I'm just gonna keep doing my needlework. Anyway, let's see. What's going on here? It looks like, oh, she's grabbing. He has a big package. And she has a nipple out. That's cool. In Lacerte's, well, don't be cruel. The artist peeks inside the boudoir to find a little foreplay in a couple's reversal of roles. The gentleman seems shy, while his lady seems determined to get what she wants. His legs are stiffly together. Hers are splayed, pushing his apart. His hand gently restrains hers. She lifts his skirt anyway. Yeah, despite the privacy of the moment, the artist cannot look away. Okay, so maybe it's a skirt that he's wearing. I don't know what he's wearing. Oh, are they wearing like different... They're cross-dressing. That's kind of kinky, whatever. Let's hope everything was consensual. So this is the second time we've ended up in the bathroom first. I keep wondering if there's gonna be anything different with the pills, but doesn't seem that way. Alright, let's get out of here. We can go in Jodie's room now, but that'll be for last because it's the TAT room. Let's go in Catherine's room. Let's, I always go to the laptop first, so let's try the cassette first.
Something very interesting happened today. We were making dinner and Allison cut her finger while chopping vegetables. It was a bad cut, but she just quietly stared with fascination at the blood dripping out of the wound.
Oh.
I overcame my urge to bind the finger because I knew something important was happening. I figured she was having a flashback to the accident. I wonder what somebody would have said if they had just seen me watching her bleed like that, but I couldn't interrupt it, though. I had to see where it would lead. After about a minute, it seemed a lot longer, she started to tremble uncontrollably. And that's when I stepped in and washed and bound the wound. Allison didn't say a word for a couple of hours. She sat at the kitchen table, staring into space. It reminded me of when we went bike riding that one time and you flew over the handlebars and landed on your palms in the gravel, and you just sat there, plucking the stones from your bloody hands with the serene, rapt expression on your face. You told me that you loved things like that because they made you feel so alive.
Okay.
I wonder if Allison was thinking about life or death.
What is that one 21 Pilots song? It's like, sometimes you gotta bleed to know, that you're alive and have a soul, God, did I just admit that I like 21 Pilots? I think I did. Alright. Personal diary. Terrible sadness permeates this house. It would be easy, living here, to get sucked into it. I frequently need to visualize myself showering away the sadness and watching it swirl away down the drain. While Michael and Allison have, each in their own ways, struggled to cope with what happened to Jody, a distance has ripped open between them. Allison harbors a great deal of hostility toward Michael. It's so all-encompassing, so overwhelming that she doesn't even recognize it, let alone understand it. Her affection for me may just be a byproduct of her anger with him. I see it in her eyes. I hear it in her voice when she speaks to him. She told me that she and Michael haven't been having sex. I was surprised that she revealed so much so soon. It's a sign that she trusts me. Michael's lack of sex might explain something about the attraction between us. Ooh. So she is attracted to him. When he came in from mowing the lawn, I could feel the heat pouring off his naked chest. He smelled so good, like grass and dirt. He tries to deny Allison's anger, but it's clear that he feels it on some level, can't help but feel it. He's in a lot of pain. He suffers almost as much as Allison does, maybe more. Michael wants his wife back, all of her. I know exactly how he feels. My principal responsibility here is Allison, but I'm going to do what I can to help them both. Return them to each other as whole and healthy human beings. They both need me, as much as I need this case. The advantage of this live-in therapy arrangement is that it allows me to use whatever tools of healing I choose, rather than just the ones prescribed by those narrow-minded drug pushers that call themselves psychiatrists. Just got off the phone with Turner. Apparently, Michael's complained about me. It sounds as if Turner handled it well. Still, though, I'm going to have to find more effective means of dealing with Michael. I do want to help him if he'll let me, but if he won't, I simply can't allow him to interfere with my work with Allison. I really enjoyed working with Allison today. We spent a long time talking about Jody, and I tended to some of the basics Allison's been neglecting since the accident. I helped her groom herself and brushed and fixed her hair for her. I couldn't help but think of Colette as I did that. About the time we bathed each other, washed and combed each other's hair. About how, afterward, Colette had laid me down, my bare back to the hardwood floor, and taken away the towel. She asked me to stretch my arms straight up and to bring my hands together so my fingertips pressed against each other. Between each pair of fingertips, she inserted a marble. My task, she said, was not to allow the marbles to drop, no matter where or how she touched me. She said if one marble dropped, she'd stop. I think I'll meditate. I could use a little relaxation. I'd like to get Allison doing it. Well, that was, yeah. Also, who is she speaking to in her cassette tapes? Like, who? Promiscuous Girl. Isn't it a Nelly Furtado song? Promiscuous boy, you're all that I want. And then, like, Timbaland or someone's like, Promiscuous girl, you're teasing me. Or something. A teenage girl was brought to the clinic by her parents for promiscuity. She was 14 and had already experienced, by her own count, 800 sexual partners. That's kind of a lot for a 14-year-old. Not to judge, not to sex shame, but that seems, excessive. The patient kept track of these encounters in a notebook. That's how the parents found out what was going on. She met the men at bars or public restrooms. In the notebook, she recorded meticulous details of the sexual acts. For example, the size and shape of the man's penis, the time it took him to ejaculate, etc. The patient took absolutely no pleasure in the sex. Rather, she was obsessed with collecting new names and data for her notebook. Dr. Turner was brought in to supervise the case. Well, that's weird. What poem have you picked out for us today, Alice? Catherine, I keep getting their names mixed up. Sorry. The Arbor. Towering leafy canopies, arching crowns of emerald, children of far-off lands, why do you weep? Your branches leaning in silence, tracing signs against the sky, and, unspeaking witness to your laments, a sweet perfume ascends. And longing and desire, you spread your arms and embrace, deceiving yourself, an emptiness of fearful darkness. So let's see what we're going to learn next about the Yoni Lingam massage. It's a nice statue, performing the Yoni massage. Ask the receiver to lie on her back. Place pillows under her head so as to allow her to look down at her genitals and up at you. That's what I like to do, just look down at my genitals. Place another pillow covered by a towel beneath her hips. Ask her to spread her legs apart and place more pillows beneath her knees. Sit cross-legged between her parted legs. Initiate deep, relaxed breathing. Deep breathing should continue throughout the massage. As sexual arousal increases, the receiver may feel inclined toward quicker, shallower breathing. At such times, gently remind her to breathe deeply and slowly. Begin by massaging the receiver's legs, abdomen, thighs, breasts, and arms. Move slowly and continue until her body becomes relaxed. After the receiver has relaxed, pour a small quantity of massage oil or lubricant onto the mound of her yoni, just enough so that the oil drips down the outer lips and covers the outside of the yoni. Is that what we're calling it now, the yoni? I mean, I guess that's the word for it in Sanskrit, I think. Gently, and without haste, massage the mound and outer lips of the yoni. Gently squeeze each of the outer lips between the thumb and index finger, sliding your hand up and down its entire length. Repeat with each of the outer lips. Move slowly, and breathe. Gaze into the receiver's eyes. Ask her whether the pressure or speed or location of your touch should be altered, and act on whatever suggestions she offers. If she likes, encourage her to massage her own breasts as you continue to massage her yoni. Lightly stroke the receiver's clitoris using a circular motion. Gently squeeze the clitoris between your thumb and index fingers. The receiver will undoubtedly become extremely aroused at this point. Remind her to relax and breathe deeply. Oh my goodness, this is getting... Oh, man. Slowly insert the middle finger of your right hand into the yoni. Gently explore and massage the inside of the yoni. I added that part. Feel up, down, and sideways. Vary the speed, the depth, speed, and pressure of your touch. With your palm up, crook the inserted finger back toward your wrist. Your fingertip will contact the spongy area of tissue just under the pubic bone behind the clitoris. This area is known amongst Westerners as the G-spot. In Tantra, it is the sacred spot. Well, that's some cool statues. Ask the pleasurer whether she finds the pressure applied to her sacred spot. Ask the receiver whether she finds the pressure applied to her sacred spot pleasurable or painful. If she experiences pleasure, continue to massage this area using back and forth, side to side, or circular motions. Vary the pressure, speed, and pattern of your movements. Carefully insert the ring finger of your right hand into the yoni. Continue to explore and massage the inside using both your middle and ring fingers. With the thumb of your right hand, gently stimulate the clitoris. Move slowly. Enjoy giving the massage. If the receiver likes, insert the pinky of your right hand into her anus. I believe in Western culture, this is called the shocker. No, wait, that's the pointer and index finger and not the ring finger. So like, I'm trying to like move my hand to see like, you got your middle finger and ring finger in the yoni, and like the pinky in the butt. Like, I don't know. Like, that's some fancy handwork. You gotta have really long fingers to do that. I don't know. Maybe my fingers are really short. I don't know. Use additional lubrication and be very gentle. Now that is some good advice. That's probably, use additional lubrication and be very gentle. In Tantra, it is said that when your pinky rests inside a woman's anus, your ring and middle fingers inside her yoni, and your thumb on her clitoris, you hold one of the mysteries of the universe in your hand. I'm speechless. Like, is that true? I'm gonna look that up later. Like, who knows? You hold one of the mysteries of the universe in your hand. Wow. Who knew that my butt was so mysterious? Like, damn. This is great. Alright. While your right hand remains thusly engaged, use your left hand to massage the receiver's breasts, abdomen, or clitoris. The dual stimulation of right and left hands will provide much pleasure for the receiver. Continue massaging for as long as the receiver likes. If she experiences an orgasm, encourage her to relax her body and to continue breathing deeply. If you continue massaging after her first orgasm, she may experience more, each gaining in intensity. In Tantra, this is known as riding the wave. When the receiver feels the massage to be complete, very slowly, gently, and with great respect, remove your hands from her yoni. If she likes, cuddle or hold her. As you learn to master the yoni massage, your sex life will become greatly enriched and you will learn a tremendous amount about feminine sexuality. Well, we all learned something today, boys and girls, and otherwise. Be sure to perform a yoni massage on a willing participant in the near future, if that's what you want. Alright, let's go into the master bedroom. Damn, I'm still thinking about the mysteries of the universe in your hand. I'm still thinking about that. That's really good. Okay, we can't click on the phone today. So, let's see what's in Allison's diary. She's like, oh man, Mrs. Rudolph performed the best massage on me. Oh, okay. No, it's just more, really sad shit. Jody sat up in bed. What a miracle. Catherine is amazing. That funny, unfocused look has gone from Jody's eyes, and her old sparkle is coming back. So I asked Michael to bring up a TV for her, and he laughed and said, my God, why didn't I think of that before? That's not what he said, Allison. That's not what he said. He wanted to go out and buy a brand new TV, but I told him the old one would be just fine for now. Michael and Catherine are getting along famously. Wow. Yeah. Michael joked about adding on a room for her. The strange feeling came again today, the feeling that something bad is going to happen to Jody. And it scares me so much that I have to sit down. Actually, I have to lie down, curl up, and cover my head and the feeling terrifies me. It's like the world turns into a nightmare, like I can't tell the difference between what's real and what isn't, and then I start to cry, and I can't help it. I start to cry. I think of the reason I cry is that I'm so happy she's getting better, but every day, but the feeling scares me. I want the feeling to go away. That's sad. Let's see if it's gonna be on the talk show today.
We have Pat on the line.
Hello, Dr. Betty.
Hi, Pat. What's on your mind?
My husband doesn't want me anymore.
Do you know why?
He doesn't find me attractive.
Why not?
I don't know.
Is there something wrong with you?
I don't think so.
Your husband just all of a sudden stopped being attracted to you.
Yes.
You don't have sex anymore?
Not for 2 years. And I can't figure it out. I never felt unattractive before. But now I'm starting to feel like maybe I am ugly. That maybe I've been deluding myself all of my life. Maybe when people said that I was beautiful, they were just being nice.
What do you look like?
What do you mean?
Describe yourself.
Well, I'm very tall, about 5'10", and I have long blonde hair. I have very high cheekbones. My body is shapely. I have a 36, 24, 36 figure.
Oh.
A lot of men tell me I look like that Italian actress, Sophia Loren.
Well, Pat, it sounds like your husband needs a healthy dose of testosterone if he can't manage to have sex with somebody who looks like you.
Oh, he's having sex.
With whom?
With Mom.
Your husband
What?
is having sex with your mother?
For the past 2 years.
How long have you known this?
I just found out last week. I went over to Mom's house to help her change her sheets.
You help your mother change her sheets?
Yeah. She has trouble getting around, doing housework. You see, she weighs 600 pounds.
600 pounds?
She's very big boned. And she's pushing 68.
She's 68 years old?
Anyway, I was looking under the bed, and I found a box of letters.
Oh.
Love letters from George to Mom.
Oh my God.
Very lewd love letters.
Well, it's pretty simple, Pat. Your husband is a geriatric obesophile.
A whatophile?
He likes porking fat old women.
Well, what can I do to get him back?
You want him back? Are you nuts? This guy is screwing your mother.
But I love him.
Well, you better start feeding your face because that's the only way you're going to get him back. So go out and get a bag of potato chips, Pat. I'm Dr. Betty.
Well, she's Dr. Betty. That's a lot. There's a lot going on there, and I don't know how to feel about that. Oh my God. This game is so fucking weird. Here we go. See what Michael's written in his journal. Isn't it convenient everybody in this game has their own journal? Let's see, is there gonna ever be anything else in here other than just, you know, her resume? Any day now. Why can't I click on what's going on? Here we go. Alice and I met in... Ooh, this is some good backstory. Allison and I met in college our senior year. We were instantly attracted to each other and the sex was fantastic. After a month, we knew we were in love. She was so much fun back then, so full of life. She loved going on road trips, especially to the ocean. We never talked about marriage, but we were always saying stuff like, when we have kids, or when we have a house. One night, after having incredible sex, Allison started crying. She told me that she was worried that all I wanted her for was sex. I told her that was stupid. So she said that she didn't want to sleep with me for a while. At first I was okay with the whole thing, but after a month, I wondered what the hell was going on. I was incredibly frustrated. We started arguing a lot, and then, all of a sudden, we were on the verge of splitting up. Allison had a roommate named Tracy, a friend of hers from high school. She was a hippie chick with tattoos and a pierced belly button. I know where this is going, oh my god. She was very pretty, and she had an amazing body, and she was always flirting with me. One night, Tracy and I got really drunk and ended up in bed. The sex was great, and I wanted to do it again. Tracy felt guilty, though. She thought she had betrayed her friend. Because she did. The next day, Allison came over. She said that Tracy had told her what had happened. The weird thing was, Allison didn't seem mad. In fact, she was apologetic. She told me that everything was her fault and that she wanted to start sleeping together again. She started crying. We made love that afternoon. A couple of weeks later, I found out something really bizarre. Tracy told me that Allison had encouraged her to have sex with me. She had told Tracy that she didn't care about me anymore. It was only after that she had found out we'd had sex that she wanted me back. What? Like, maybe Allison's like a cuck. Like, maybe she's like into cuckolding, but like reverse. Turner was no help. He thinks I should just go along with what Catherine says. I think that Mrs. Randolph is insecure, and she feels like she needs to boss me around all the time to show me that she is in control of the situation. I didn't tell Turner what I really felt. He's very defensive of her. Like she's his kid, or his girlfriend. The whole situation is starting to sort of piss me off. But I promised myself I'd do anything, just so long as it helped Allie. But is it helping her? She just seems to be sinking deeper and deeper into her fantasy world, and Mrs. Randolph is the one who's pushing her. Turner told me that Mrs. Randolph is divorced. I'm not surprised. Oh yeah, so like, who are her tapes to? Not her husband. So, who? Mrs. Greenstreet knew I was looking at that nymphet, oh my god, that's, nymphet. Why would he use that word? That's the word like they used in Lolita, I think. Nymphet. Mrs. Greenstreet knew I was looking at that nymphet's ass in Dr. Turner's office. That was really embarrassing. That girl exuded sex, though. And she wanted me to look at her. God, you're such a creep, Michael. I wonder what kind of therapy old Doc Turner is giving her. I bet he doesn't mind seeing her 3 times a week. God, what a creep. I stopped by the office and said hi to everyone. Leon wasn't there, but everybody else was happy to see me. Duncan asked me if I wanted to play tennis sometime. I told him that would be great. Then I went to the Hippy Dippy Food Co-op and bought about $50 worth of health food crap. On the way home, I stopped off at the driving range and blasted some balls to the fence. Man, that felt good. I dread going to bed. Allison sleeps so rigidly, like a corpse. I want to run from the house. Run away from them. I'm going to go out on the porch and drink a couple of beers. It's starting to rain. I just woke up from the scarecrow dream. I can't sleep. 15 minutes passed while I just sat there, staring into space. I can't stop thinking about Mark. Or maybe it's Susanna I'm dwelling on. It was Susanna's birthday party, and Susanna's the German girl, right? Yeah. It was Susanna's birthday party, and everyone had forgotten to get ice cream for the cake. Mark volunteered to run to the store. He got hit by a drunk driver as he drove home. He was in a coma. The doctor didn't know if he would ever come out of it. Susanna and I were alone in the hospital room with him. I had my arm around her, holding her close. My face was touching hers. We were both overwhelmed by what had happened. We were scared and shocked and anguished. I could feel her hot tears rolling down my cheeks. I licked my lips and tasted her tears. And then the strangest thing happened. Something about the feel and taste of her tears sent this powerful electric sensation rushing through my body. I held Susanna closer to me. She must have felt it too, because she opened her eyes wide and stared at me. All these emotions, sorrow and lust, loss and gain, all of them mingled together and pulled us together like a spell. We started kissing passionately, touching each other's bodies, surprised and thrilled by our unexpected desire. Susanna led me to the spare bed in the room, and we made love while my best friend lay dying. What the fuck? So they fucked in the same room as their comatose friend. Like, what is wrong with everybody in this game? Well, what's wrong with Michael? What? And later that night, I had the scarecrow dream for the first time. The same dream I had tonight. What's the scarecrow dream? In the dream, I'm walking through the house in the daytime. Nobody is home. Everything is so quiet and still. I look outside toward the pasture. I see a scarecrow hanging limp on its wooden cross. I walk outside, across the field. The closer I get to the scarecrow, the more scared I get. The scarecrow looks like a person, a man. I can't see his face. I stop, an arm's length away. An old straw hat covers the man's features. I stare with horror at his hands, nailed to the old boards. The blood is dried and caked on. Suddenly, the man twitches. I stumble backwards and fall on the ground. The scarecrow turns his head slowly and looks toward the sky. His eyes are sunken. His skin is cracked from exposure, but I can still recognize who it is. It is my face. It is me. Well, I don't know what to say about that, Michael. Let's see what book we have. Is it still gonna be Huggy and the Shame Boy? Huggy and the Shame Boy. Yep, it is the same book. Okay, that's all we have in this room. Shut up! Ooh, we have something new. Let's see it. I can't. Carrot cake, organic carrots, organic lettuce, organic tomatoes, brown eggs, tofu, organic cranberry juice, soya milk, fat-free granola, what is this? Something cheddar cheese, organic herbal shampoo, no animal testing. 7-grain bread, herbal essence, caffeine-free tea. Herbal essence, so that was a grocery list, organic everything. Wow, okay. I don't know why I keep clicking on this. It's the same thing every day. What else is around here? Nothing to click on. Just that wonderful cow painting. I love that painting so much. We haven't clicked on anything in here for a while, so like... There's nothing in here! Nothing to click in here! Alright. So let's just go to Jody's room. This is gonna be big. This is... I don't know if I'm ready for this. Are you ready for this? Oh, this is sad. Oh, hi!
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Michael went to see Turner. I half expected it. Turner wants me to keep Michael more informed. If that's going to help anything. She'd be a lot better off if he went back to work and let me get on with my job. I'm making a lot of progress with her, and it would be a considerable improvement if I didn't have to explain myself every step of the way. He's so resistant. And the biggest part of my job is trying to untangle the mess he's created for the past 6 months.
Oh.
Turner's not much help either. He's better than most of them, but it never ceases to amaze me how out of touch psychiatrists can be with what's really troubling their patients.
Alright. Well, I understand her frustration. Oh. The music in this room is really creepy. What is that? It looks like there's like 2 cats and one is spanking the other. There's a lot going on there. I wonder if that would be the TAT. Oh, it's a bunch of kids' drawings.
When you've concluded this test,
Alright.
if I could have a single wish, I would wish for...
Money.
The child who drew this is...
Disturbed, imaginative, abused, or humorous. I don't know, like... I'm no child psychologist. I don't know what the hell, like, this is about. Let's just say disturbed.
Adults should act more like kids.
Yeah, I feel like when you grow up, like, there's sort of a pressure to be, like, a grown-up. But we'd probably be happier if we could be more like kids.
What makes this a happy painting?
The color gold, the smiling faces, the outstretched arms of the child. The smiling faces.
This is a carload of...
Aliens, ghosts, regular people. I can't tell. They're probably meant to be regular people, but I'm gonna say they're aliens.
Parents should praise their children.
All the time. Only when they do something special. Never. Not too much, so as not to spoil them. I say maybe all the time, because, like, so they won't get low self-esteem, but maybe not too much. I'm just gonna say all the time.
Humans make art because...
they're naturally creative, they're bored, they want to make money. God is speaking through their work. Well, I guess they're naturally creative.
Which title is most appropriate for this drawing?
Mummy, I drew a picture. Zombie. Eggman. Mummy. Zombie.
A child who makes a mess should be...
disciplined, given a lecture, hugged, or forgiven. Forgiven.
This should be called...
me with my family up skiing. Fun on the ski lift. Welcome to the penis farm!
Mothers eventually have to let go of their children.
I mean, everybody does. Like, all parents have to.
Excuse me.
Yes?
This thing with the television.
What thing?
Bringing a set in and actually hooking it up.
What about it?
Well, it's ridiculous.
She looks really hot
Oh?
here.
Why?
Who's gonna watch it?
Who listens when you come in and say goodnight to Jody?
Good point.
Is that ridiculous too?
Allison does. I do it for her.
You've had a depressed, dysfunctional wife for 6 months. I've been here for 2 days and you're already seeing results. And you think you know better than I do? So what do you want? Do you want me to leave?
No.
Then I insist that you stop interfering and let me do my work the way it needs to be done.
Thank God she finally said it. Oh, damn! She just shoulder checked him. Yeah, he needs, I don't know, like...
It's done.
What's she watching?
Oh, I turned the set off. She was sleeping.
She'll be so excited when she wakes up, don't you think?
Boy, I'm starving. It's been a long time since I've had Allison's pancakes.
These are delicious.
She's cooking.
Thank you.
Look wonderful, honey.
Her hair looks great. Yeah, that.
Catherine thinks we should get a pet for Jody.
Oh,
A little dog like Punky.
Animals are out of the question. What are you thinking about?
Just trying to find ways to bring life back into the house, Mr. Overton.
She's right, Michael.
Yeah, but with Jody so confined, it might be too much of a tease.
Or an inspiration.
We could get one just like Punky.
What happened to Punky?
Okay. Go to the animal shelter. I'll see if they have one like Punky. And if they don't, I'll just ask them to let us know the minute one comes in.
Why not get a different kind? Allison, from what you told me about her dog's death and how painful it was, we shouldn't remind her of it.
She does have a point, don't you think so, Michael?
I guess so.
Will you do it?
Okay.
Thank you, Michael. You're the most wonderful husband ever.
Oh.
See with the patient?
No. But no.
Again?
Look, Mrs. Greenstreet, I just need 5 minutes of his time. It's important.
What is it, Michael?
I'm sorry to barge in on you like this, Dr. Turner, but Mrs.
Again?
Randolph is really going too far.
I thought she was doing rather well.
She had me put a television in Jody's room, and now she's making me go to the animal shelter to get a dog.
A dog?
Yes, for Jody. Can you believe it?
Michael, Mrs. Randolph, Catherine does know what she's doing.
I don't think so.
Really? Come on in.
Hello, Michael.
Michael is concerned with your approach to Allison's therapy.
Yes, I heard.
Catherine was just telling me that Allison, in fact, has recovered a lot of energy and that her lethargy has disappeared. Would you agree?
Yes. I guess so.
Please, sit down. You seem unsure.
Yes, she has a lot of energy.
She's also free of any indication of depression.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds very good. Is this true, Michael?
That's how it appears to be, but Allison still believes that our daughter's alive, and Catherine's making it worse.
Sorry, making what worse?
Her condition.
Your wife is actually showing some initial signs of recovery.
Michael, returning to normal for Allison is going to be a complex and delicate journey. Now, I can see that you're feeling left out, but you can be very helpful in her recovery. And what's needed most, indeed the most essential ingredient, is your cooperation.
Then you think I should do what Catherine says?
Yes, I think it would be most helpful.
And I should get her the dog.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea.
Oh my god. I kind of feel like we're getting more of the same. Like, Catherine says, do this. Michael gets upset about it. He goes at Dr. Turner. He's like, do it
I
anyway.
can see now that Michael was more upset than I'd realized.
Oh,
I thought
really?
at the time that he was just confused by the process and that simply focusing on the results might put him at ease, but now it seems that what's troubling him most is the dynamic between Michael and Catherine. And this isn't good. At least in my humble opinion. What do you think?
Do you think Michael should get a pet for Jodie?
No, I don't think for Jodie. Maybe for... Excuse me. Maybe for Allison.
Allison is making real progress.
I think she's making progress, but she needs to make more progress.
Catherine is acting in Allison's best interest.
I don't know. I don't really know what to think about Catherine. I think she really cares about Allison, and she's acting in her best interest, but she's, you know, like, intent is separate from, like, the outcome. I don't know.
I consider myself to be...
None of thee. Well, oh my god. Fun and carefree, rigid and unbending, floundering and unfocused, driven and level-headed. I'm just gonna go with floundering and unfocused, because
Allison is more conscious of things going on around her than she reveals.
I think she is.
As a child, I enjoyed myself most
when I was alone, when I was participating in an event, when I was being entertained, when I was in the company of family or friends. When I was alone.
My sexual appetite is...
I'd rather not say. I don't know, ravenous, meager, just right. I'd say just right.
I tend to be someone who acts with...
aggression, spontaneity, forethought, an even-keeled disposition, passivity. Aggression, forethought. I hope so.
Does Michael want Allison to recover?
I think he does, yeah. Hi, we're in his office again. Alright. Oops, we're in the... I moved too fast. Maybe not. Well...
The next TAT will be given in my office. Look...
Okay. No! Where are we? Go to the reception area. We already are there. Okay. Alright. Disorders of sexual desire. Oh boy. She sits on her hands, shifts her weight nervously side to side, looks at the floor. I thought it would go away eventually, she says in a thin, tired voice. That it was just a phase. But eventually never came. It didn't go away. Her husband, sitting stiffly on the opposite end of the couch, doesn't look at her. He looks out the window. I tried to, start a little foreplay, but she just pushed me away. It seemed like I repulsed her. It's been almost a year now. Excuse me. It's been almost a year now. She takes a breath, starts again, haltingly. There's just one thing I want to know, she says. Have you talked to many people like us? I mean, is this a common situation? Common. Try epidemic. The topic under discussion is sexual desire, an instinct that ought to flow as freely as the urge for a fine meal or the inclination to sleep. But for an estimated 1 in 5 Americans, some 38 million adults, it doesn't flow at all. And for 9 million more, it flows completely out of control. Sexual desire disorders are now constitute the leading problem in clients seeking sex therapy, while anorgasmia in women and premature ejaculation in men once dominated this practice. Now, as a result of the pioneering research of Dr. William Masters and Virginia Johnson in the 1960s, people suffering from such conditions can readily find self-help solutions. Today, Says Dr. Deborah Manning, director of the Human Sexuality Program at Wheeler College in Pittsburgh, sex therapists are seeing the more elusive problems. It's unclear whether the surge in the number of Americans seeking help reflects an actual rise in desire disorders, or whether such problems have simply become more visible. During the 1960s, popular expectations of sex changed in profound ways. As a result of the birth control pill, women could, for the first time in history, separate sex from fears of pregnancy. Simultaneously, new cultural messages glorified casual sex. Now, from seductive clothing ads to the estimated 176 monthly sex scenes aired on primetime television, free sex has emerged as the principal symbol of the good life. Sexual health has become a right to which most Americans feel entitled, and so they seek help. A woman who, after smiling her way through her wedding photos, breaks down in tears at the thought of entering the honeymoon suite. A lawyer with 4 girlfriends who daily juggles multiple frenzied appointments for sex with A lawyer with 4 girlfriends who daily juggles multiple frenzied appointments for sex with court appearances and client consultations. They could have edited that sentence better. They come from all walks of life, no profession, age, class, ethnicity, or gender accepted. That which unites them is fear. As children, many of them learned that caring too much for others is risky. Others learned as adults that happiness carries consequences. Instead of an intimate and loving act, sex became a tool to manipulate or distance those who might otherwise get too close. Controlling sex became a way to control fear. For hypoactive sexual desire. For years it was great. Despite 2 jobs and 3 kids, they'd set aside special nights every week just to be alone together. The sex was tender, intimate, and thrilling. Familiarity only made it better. But that was before the accident, before their 2-year-old son nearly drowned in the backyard swimming pool. The baby had survived, but he'd suffered extensive, irreparable brain damage. Since then, her husband's hands had felt like tentacles against her flesh, and she's not into tentacles. I didn't know what to do, says Kevin. Finally, we got a number from our family practitioner. It was 3 more months before we finally made the call. Most experts squirm at the idea of a norm with respect to sexual appetite, and hypoactive or inhibited sexual desire is therefore undefined in only the loosest of terms. Clinically, it means experiencing sexual urges, fantasies, and/or activity less than twice a month. However, as long as both partners in a sexual relationship remain happy, once a month can be considered as normal and appropriate as once a day. I assign an HSD diagnosis. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. Only if there's been a change in desire, says sexologist Manning, and if it's causing the patient distress. How much longer is this? I can't read this shit. Like I can only read half a page. Anyway, often it's actually the victim's partner who experiences distress. Explains Jason, 35, a graphic artist whose wife has HSD. I would try to ignore it as long as I could, force myself not to think about sex, he says. Then she'd give in, I guess out of guilt. Ugh. She'd lie there, limp, just waiting for me to get it over with. She might as well have been on Mars. I felt terrible afterward, guilty and dirty. I wanted her to get help. Prodded by their partners, victims of desire disorders often show up for therapy, complaining of impotence or anorgasmia. But beginning in the mid-1970s, therapists began to notice that the real problem was often that victims didn't actually want sex to begin with. In her groundbreaking 1979 work, Disorders of Sexual Desire, Dr. Helen Singer Kaplan explained that, unlike sexual arousal, desire exists primarily in the mind. As a result, HSD stems not from a lack of ability to perform, from a lack of motivation. Causes. The memories began just after her father's funeral. Suddenly, she'd see herself at 8 years old, lying in her bed at her home in Arizona. Hearing footsteps on the stairs, she'd freeze, close her eyes tight, pretend to sleep. The door would creak open and she'd feel the light on her face. Next, he'd be on top of her, sweating, his alcohol breath coming hard and hot against her cheek. Looks like I'm gonna need to add another trigger warning. She never told anyone. Her mother warned that little girls who touched themselves or allowed others to touch them were going to hell. Years after marrying, Justine never experienced an orgasm with her husband. And when the memories came, she shut down altogether. The roots of desire disorders are often acquired during childhood. Many sufferers report having endured sexual, physical, and/or emotional abuse. According to Dr. Jeffrey Gill, who has conducted extensive research on deviant sexuality, children raised in homes where sex is viewed as evil or sinful, and where harmless activities such as playing doctor are viciously punished, are likely to grow up with warped or, at the very least, fragile sexual identities. In girls, he says, instinctive lust is often damaged beyond repair, if not extinguished completely. In boys, sex gets abnormally rechanneled. How much more of this do I have to read? Oh my god! Okay. Okay. I don't want to read all of this. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna just keep reading normally, and I'll like read out loud in case something funny happens. So just read along. Pause the video if you need to, because I read really fast. They come in smiling. They're polite to one another, but there's fury in their eyes. Squelch. Ugh. I can't, Donna sobbed, curling herself into the fetal ball on the bed. Donna's husband, Vince, lay naked beside her. Their homework, as assigned by their therapist, had been to set aside 15 minutes during which Vince was to gently explore Donna's breasts and genitals while Donna told him what felt good. But as Donna had guided Vince's hand against her rigid body, she had felt nothing whatsoever. "It's a waste of time," she cried. "Nothing's ever going to change." Later, she told Vince, "I don't want to go back to therapy." He replied, "We have no choice. We've got to go back." Yeah. The habitual response, a frenzied scanning of newspaper ads, a drive to the strip show, to gin and tonics, and finally a massage parlor where $100 bought sex and temporary relief. Afterward, he'd sit naked on the edge of the bed, mentally berating himself in disgust. Too much sex? To many Americans, especially young men, the notion seems unfathomable. Perverts in raincoats. I was two totally different people, he says quietly. On the outside, I was just your average suburban husband and father. But on the inside, I felt like a dirty person. Dirty and sick and rotten. Indeed, a hallmark of compulsive sexual behavior is secrecy. Tony's wife, Tracy, is that the same Tracy that was roommates with Allison in college? She knew nothing about Tony's double life until she discovered a phone bill listing hundreds of dollars worth of calls to a 900 phone sex line. I wonder if he talked to Nurse Nellie. If I saw a prostitute on the street, that was it, says Tim, 38, a marketing executive in Chicago. It was impossible not to do it. Wow. Once, Tim's father caught Tim masturbating in his bedroom and punished him with 10 belt lashes. Ugh. She instructed her children never to remain naked longer than absolutely necessary. As a child, Tim feared he'd condemned his soul by soaking in the bathtub. Wow. Wow. Three to 4 times a day, what the fuck? The Kinsey Report. Well, there was a lot going on there. This is probably like a huge HIPAA violation that, Allison Overton! Oh shit, she's only 28? What the fuck? She's only a few years older than me. She's prescribed seconal Valium, previous mental illness. Prior to automobile accident on 20/20/96. Oh wow, so this takes place in 1996. She was treated for postpartum depression after the birth of their child. Antidepressants were prescribed. Treated for 2 months as an outpatient. She's been under the care of Dr. Canby of Providence Hospital since an automobile accident which killed their only child. Brief history. First referred to chrysalis by Dr. Canby, suffering from a severe case of post-traumatic stress disorder coupled with parental loss of child syndrome. Jody was 5 years old, was killed 2 months ago. Extreme dissociation traits. She is listless, despondent, and detached. Created a fantasy world in which her child is still alive. After treating her for a mere 7 weeks, Canby attempted to shock Allison out of her state of delusion by showing her photographs of the accident scene and of Jody in the morgue. Allison violently attacked Canby and severely scratched his face. Rather than institutionalize Allison, I will supervise her in-home care with 4 in-clinic visits per week. Note: Michael, the husband, has informed me that Allison is extremely reticent to visit the Chrysalis Institute. He told me to be prepared. I am confident that I will be able to handle the situation. Canby is a wretched fool. I must get his I really want to hear John Hurt say, Canby is a wretched fool. Get his invitation to the upcoming Pacific Northwest psychiatric retreat revoked. Spending 2 weeks in the San Juan Islands with that arrogant dolt is more than I can handle. Call Honegger and arrange this. Mrs. Allison Overton, age 28, was unable to participate beyond head nods during the admissions interview. She avoided eye contact, and Mr. Overton essentially provided medical and psychiatric history. Okay, Mr. Overton, they met while attending college, and the two married. They married during the last year of their studies. So yeah, they'd only known each other less than a year when they got married. Received business degree in commercial art. Developed a small part-time business after they moved to the Rogue Valley. Enjoyed successful career until the death of their daughter Jody in a car accident. Psychiatric history is benign with no contributing factors to current psychiatric state. Current functioning. Striking absence of emotional responsiveness while in office. And why did I say it while in office? According to Mr. Overton, she was not over-medicated. Restricted range of affect appears compatible with the numbing experience that occurs as a result of significant trauma. Husband stated she has avoided any participation in her profession. All projects have been on hold for over 3 months. Diminished interest in anything happening around home except reading, often secreting herself in her daughter's bedroom. Locks herself in that room for hours at a time, refuses to respond to any attempts at communication, except please leave me alone. They have been non-sexual. She sleeps poorly while staying in bed most of the time. Refuses to even see her own mother, who has traveled to Oregon from California several times since the death of her granddaughter. Immediate treatment goals. Contact Catherine Randolph at the Schneider Clinic and check on her availability to assist on this critical case. Symptomatic patterns and diagnostic justification. Mrs. Overton has been exposed to the traumatic death of her daughter. She has manifested at least 3 dissociative symptoms. A subjective sense of numbing, detachment, and absence of emotional responsiveness. Behaves as if in a daze. Impairments in occupation, social, and marital functioning. Michael Overton. Oh boy, howdy. Gonna see Mikey's. This athletic-looking 28-year-old married man came in for an appointment very distraught following a brief telephone contact on 4/13/96. 7-year-old daughter. What? Is Jody 5 or 7? Was killed 2 months ago and a single... Yeah, the last thing said she was 5, and this one says she's 7. Killed 2 months ago in a single automobile accident. Patient was driving and road conditions were slippery. Daughter, who was not wearing a seat belt, was killed on impact. Patient is seeking some sort of assistance or treatment for his wife, who he describes as frozen in grief since the accident. Current functioning. While patient spent majority of time talking about the emotional state of his wife, I am equally concerned about the agitation and anger that he manifested in my office. Seems unable to process effectively and actively avoided talking about his own feelings of loss and grief. Has obviously received little support from wife. Unable to go to work, lacks skills to work through the stages of grief, says the problem is that someone has to take care of his wife. Yeah, that's a lot, he hasn't been able to properly grieve for Jody because, he has to take care of Allison, and Allison can't support him, because, she's a Yeah. It appears to me that by focusing his attention on his wife's distress, he is avoiding processing his own grief. Patient is angry, needs to place blame on something or someone else, currently refuses support from the network of community resources that are available. Immediate treatment goals. Appears that patient's stiff upper lip and need to place his wife's needs before his own can only exacerbate this tragedy to a critical incident. Made referral to Winter Spring Center for Grief Counseling. Believe that both Mr. and Ms. Overton can benefit from talking about this personal tragedy, both individually and conjointly. Suggested that if he felt a professional rehabilitative effort was needed for his wife and him, I could recommend psychiatric nurse who specialized in outpatient treatment and in-home care. Patient was immediately responsive to the suggestion and informed of substantial costs of such care. Patient appears unconcerned, reporting he has a trust fund which can be utilized. Adjustment disorder with mixed emotions and conduct. Note: contact Catherine Randolph and let her know husband has signed release for her to confer with me on this case. That was a lot to talk about, wasn't it? Oops, that's just the same file cabinet. Herba-derba-der. Don't want to read that again. Okay, let's go to Dr. Turner's office. Oh, I wonder what he has to say about me. Okay, would probably thrive on scholarly activity. States that sexual desires are just right. An even keel makes for smooth sailing. Patient is easily bored with forced routine. Has trouble learning important lessons from past mistakes. Suggest that patient... Oh, I already read all this. Oh. Ooh, okay. Okay, are we gonna see some, like, weird,
Many persons think that psychiatry consists of only one thing, psychoanalysis. Actually, psychoanalysis is a prolonged and very specialized form of treatment. It properly can be given only by a doctor qualified as a psychiatrist and fully trained in the exact specialty of psychoanalysis. Treatment may go on for years.
I'm so excited. I can't wait till Michael gets back.
Allison?
A dog! Can you imagine? Jody will be so happy. Everything is much better since Catherine's arrived.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I just never thought I'd feel this hopeful again. It's wonderful. I just can't.
She can't even.
Here is the wise old man of medicine.
Oh my God.
Zero. One of the prerequisites of being
Ooh.
a good doctor is to be sure the staff is on their toes.
Sexual harassment. That's hilarious.
Either we've just been invaded or there's an emergency.
Oh my God. Also, why is the music still playing from this? Why is the music from this screen playing in the game? Okay, now it's not. Oh, I don't know. Ooh, some playing cards. Okay.
When you've concluded this test,
Yep.
why don't we dabble a bit in the realm of the psychic? Here's a little game to test your powers of extrasensory perception.
Okay.
You will observe 4 cards face up on my table and a 5th card that is face down. Look at the symbols on the face of the up cards. Square, triangle, circle, plus sign. The face down card is one of these 4. This is what I want you to do. Concentrate. Use all your psychic abilities. Form a mental picture of the hidden card and tell me what symbol is on its face. Make your choice by clicking on one of the 4 up cards. The image on the face down card will be changed after each turn. Very well. Let's begin.
Okay. I'm feeling circle.
You're trying too hard.
Okay. I'm feeling square.
Relax.
Taking a deep breath. Let's try plus.
Don't give yourself a headache.
What the fuck, Dr. Turner? Triangle.
Think harder.
Okay, do I think harder or do I try too hard? The fuck do I do?
You're trying too hard.
What the fuck?
Think harder.
I don't like this. Can we just go back to the old TAT?
Magnificent.
Oh my god, I got it, finally. I don't want to do it again.
Yes. Well then. Oh, come back again and we'll give it another go.
I don't wanna. Ooh, she's looking good.
Did you get one?
She's in the back.
A puppy!
She's beautiful. Jody will
Oh
love
my
her.
God.
Does she have a name?
Well, if she does, I don't know it.
Oh, Jody can name her.
Yeah.
Cute. Don't
Jody
you
can
love
name
her?
Yeah, she's cute.
Let's show her to Jody.
You go ahead. I'm gonna go build a run in the back.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
They kissed! Bark, 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 bark! Thanks. Oh! The little kissy face.
Allison!
Oh.
Hey, no dogs on the bed in this house. Come on, you little mutt.
Rude.
Whoa. What's that? I rescued you from the pound, remember? You'll regret that.
What the fuck, dude? It's just a dog.
Allison? Allie? You in here?
What's going on?
Allison!
Will you please be quiet? We're trying to develop some concentration.
Whoa, is
Allison,
he
in there with you?
doing the yoni massage? Look at that phone.
Leon, it's Michael. Not too bad. How about yourself? Well, we've taken on a full-time nurse. Seems to be working out well enough where I think I can finally come back to work.
Finally.
Thanks, Leon. I appreciate it. Well, she's a therapist, actually. Oh, I'd say she has things under control, to say the least.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I'll see you tomorrow.
Jody decided to name her new dog Punky, even though she looks nothing like the first Punky.
What does Catherine have to say about that?
Oh, she thinks it's a good choice.
You know, I was looking for you earlier, but I guess you were in Catherine's room.
She's teaching me meditation.
What was it like?
It's wonderful.
No, I mean, what did you do?
We meditated.
Yeah, but what's meditation all about?
I didn't know you had such an interest in meditation, Mr. Overton.
I'm curious about a lot of things.
Perhaps you should try a session with me.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Well, why not? You just said you were interested.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, Michael. I just heard you.
You'll be a happier person, I guarantee it.
Look, I just don't want to, all right?
Why do you feel the need to get upset when someone offers you help?
I don't need your help.
Jesus.
Allison, I've made a decision. I'm going back to work tomorrow.
Well, that's wonderful, Michael. You need to get out of the house. You're getting too serious.
Oh.
Okay, fine. And tomorrow you're on your own.
Not exactly. I've got Catherine to take care of me.
Oh. They're gay.
Well, things really are looking up, aren't they? Alison is doing extremely well. Michael's going back to work. That Catherine really is impressive. Though I can't help but be a little curious about her meditation sessions with Alison. Wonder what they're actually doing in there. Don't you?
Yeah, it's the Yoni Linga massage.
I think I have a tumor somewhere in my head.
I hope not.
Should Michael meditate with Catherine?
Yes, she knows a lot about that.
I tend to be a person who reads manuals first.
Yes.
Was Alison naked during her meditation session with Catherine?
She certainly looked that way.
It is better never to deceive anyone.
True.
Michael is worried that Alison and Catherine are getting too close.
Yes. All right. Well, that seems like a good place to stop. So, this has been another very entertaining episode of Tender Loving Care. We learned a lot about sexual disorders, and there was a puppy! So, thank you so much. Oh, hold on. Let's see what he says about me. Oh, probably most productive when following specific directions. Seems to be adamantly opposed to lying. I agree with that. Feels confident in state of good health. Might be the type who desires frequent casual sex. Suggest that patient try Chinese martial arts as a means to focus thoughts. Alright. The puppy! Well, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, be good and wear your seatbelt. Bye-bye.